rid of that.
All right, no talking.
All right, you guys can sit down. Thanks, guys. All right, so one of the other things, though, is you can talk in suit if you choose. I know when I first started fursuiting, it was tough for me to walk up to a fursuiter that didn't know how to talk. Now, pantomiming helps, but you know, it was kind of scary for me because I didn't know, who was under there or how to interpret that. You have to understand too that when you're a fursuiter and you're interacting with a human being, they're in their most vulnerable state because they don't have the face and the fur to hide their emotions. So they're very vulnerable, and if you come up to them and they're backing off, just kind of stay away from them. They're not really ready for you to go to them. But you can use your voice, just like you're starting to develop some of these traits. You can use your voice. It can take a while to figure out what that voice is. I mean, when I first started, I had no idea. Just over time, it's developed where it's like a little bit higher voice, and I use a lot of sounds and whatnot to communicate. But this one knows that you can't shut me up for very long, so I needed some type of voice for my characters. So think about, you may still run into cases where you need to pantomime things when you can't interact, but don't be afraid to use your voice. And if somebody looks really shy and if they really don't know what to do, just, even though your character doesn't have a voice, if you can just talk to them a little bit, just say, hey, it's okay, something like that, or hey, I can speak, it's not a problem. That'll just make them feel a little bit better, and you might find that they warm up to you a little bit.
Question here, or not comment, rather.
What?
Yeah, that's what question, yeah.
What do you want?
I was suggesting, generally, the shy spit acting is very helpful for those who may not be used to fursuiters, who not be used to mascotters, because it gives the other person more control or a sense of, for lack of a better word, more power. So if you're afraid of them, they might be more tempted to wait a minute, this person is afraid of me, let me come to him, let me assure him I'm not so bad. Because they're thinking the opposite, they're thinking, oh, he might be so bad. But if you act like, if you look surprised or are being very gentle and friendly and a little bit standoffish at first, they might feel more inclined to approach you.
Yep.
So it's just another tip for them.
Yep, and you find the same thing, adults and children are the same way.
Yep.
You see some little kids, I tend to try to get down into their level, or even what you're talking about, just say, hey, I'm not a threat.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind when you're interacting with human beings, and you can use your voice. What's up?
Even with little kids, though, you should be wary of the whole. I had some kids attack me with Nerf guns outside the. You should still kind of keep a standoff and kind of.
Well, for kids is an interesting thing. Kids, some are standoffish, and people are the same way. I've just learned that just keep interacting with them, and don't try to fool kids. Like if they're at that phase where they're like, I know you're not real. Well, duh. What did you think I would just real big? I mean, just play on that a little bit, because then they kind of feel like, oh well, I guess I'm just fine, because they're just looking for a kink in your armor. They're just looking for you to say something that's false, so they can play with you or go against you. But if, I've just told kids, hey, of course I'm just a guy in a suit. It's not a big deal. And then sometimes I'll show them my face and stuff. They feel good, and then they start interacting with me. So. But adults are the same way. If they look kind of afraid of me, I'll just open up my mouth so they can see me, just so, hey, I am a human being in here. But the voice is one way to convey that. So you can decide if you want to use the voice or not. I like to use my voice to communicate with people, and I talk with my hands a lot. But I do have to, I've learned how to do the pantomime part. So it is useful to still have those skills to, know how to have people come to you and how to have them back off, or just different things without using your voice. So, and voice is an interesting thing. If you go out, you can just practice it. You can practice in front of the mirror until you find the right voices for you. But there's no reason why you don't have to have a voice. Like there's no rule that says, because I'm in a mascot now, I can't talk. That's not true. So,
Also, the tone of your voice helps a lot too. If you're happy, then it goes up, and if you're sad, it goes down. You know, so I mean, that's if you're doing arf, and that's all you ever say is whoops and stuff, then arf, then it helps to show that because it does actually matter what your like if your voice is high or low because people will convey that differently. So you can use that. All you can never say is arf, and people will know what you're saying. Arf.
So, one of the next things I want to talk about quickly, though, is do think about character traits. So, we've talked about, how to display emotions and how to do pantomime and how to speak. But think about the traits of your character that you want to convey. For example, I like to be a playful, energetic, always moving type of character. And so that's what I'm trying to convey. That's why I'm trying to move. That's why I try to run around. Even when I'm going to another place, I get tired doing it, but I like to always have that hop in my step because I'm playful, I'm energetic. I'm always looking for something to do. So, just decide, it might be just a strange quirk about your character. You might always make sounds, maybe that's your quirk. Or maybe you're always afraid of people that are holding bananas and, I don't know, or you're just afraid of walruses. But I mean, you can think of quirks to incorporate into your character. So one of mine, although I use a prop, which we'll talk a little bit more about, is I like to have my cheeseburger with me. That helps with the name because I'm the cheese beagle, but it also gives me something to interact. So that becomes a part of my personality. That becomes a quirk of me because I always have that. I've also incorporated some quirks or some things into my own suit that I can use. Like this, because I'm a puppy, so I've got this, I can squeak, and so that's one of my unique things. I can interact with people with just my tail alone, and have all the dog fursuiters following me. So think about those quirks. Now, one of the quirks, one of those inspirations that you can use is definitely think about what animal that you have chosen, because you can think about or something that's similar to it, because then you can use that in your character. So the beagle, for me, was pretty easy because we're very calm, we don't make a lot of noise, we're not energetic, so obviously I'm full of crap. So those are traits that I can use from the canine, and I can even look at, I was watching my neighbor's dog one time, and it was playing in the snow. And I ended up doing a YouTube video where I was playing in the snow, and I imitated his actions. He'd just be so happy to see the snow, and he'd roll his face in it, and he'd just kind of like roll over in it. So those are types of traits that I incorporate in my character. If you're, a tiger, you could look at how tigers interact. They like to claw things, but you also have the opportunity to use a lot of feline, characteristics. You can, lick yourself a lot, but you can stalk people, so you can use like the common species for some of that inspiration for your emotions. And even if you're a griffin, you can think about what bird-like characteristics could you have. Like just always kind of like turning your head could be like one of your
That
things.
is so cute.
One of the,
His ears are flopping around.
so when he does that, his ears flop around, and that can be something that you can incorporate into your character, right? So I think there's no better way to practice some of these quirks that we're trying to talk about than doing a round known as party quirks. If anybody's familiar with improvisation, we'd like to get some of the fursuiters up, and we're going to need a volunteer that's going to have to leave the room while we assign quirks to some of these characters, and then they're going to have to come back and guess it. So let's see. First, I'm gonna have 5 suitors up here that we're gonna assign quirks to. So we're gonna take the one that's already standing. Let's see. Who hasn't volunteered up here yet before? We'll take the gorilla. We'll take you two back here. How many does that give us for now?
4.
So I need 1 human being for this. Where's the human? You in the back. Come here. So I need somebody to volunteer either, it could be either a talking suit or probably better to be a human. Would somebody like to try to guess what we make all these people? Is anybody, I'll pick on somebody if you don't volunteer. All right, you in the back. All right, so, Tig.
Yes.
I'm going to need you to escort this fine person out of the room.
Okay, well the doors are wide open, so I'm not
Yes,
sure what
we're
we're
gonna
gonna
need
do
some
about
help.
that.
Really
far away.
Or just have him go really far away.
Take him for a walk.
All right. Is everybody ready for this? All right. Do we have everybody up front? Where's the gorilla? Get up here. Do we have the person secured? It's safe. Okay. All right, guys. We need. I'll stop with you. Okay. First, we need a good quirk for this guy. What? So it could be like he could have superpowers. He could be chronically depressed. He could be Superman on fire. I mean, it could be. We'll try. We just need some good quirks that they're going to have to get. So what do we want for this one?
Think there's spiders going over the floor.
He has a skin disease.
Always thirsty.
Which do we want? Always thirsty or skin disease?
Thirsty.
I'm hearing more skin disease on this one. All right, so you have some type of strange skin disease. Good luck with that. So what do we want for this one?
Lost your bowl.
Professional
your ball.
stripper.
What? I can't really
Can't
hear you
stop
all that
chasing the
well.
garbage truck.
Somebody choose one. What?
Can't stop chasing the garbage truck.
Lost your bowl?
What's that?
Lost your bowl?
You lost your bowl. Okay, well, let's do that one. You lost your bowl and you're continually looking for it. Okay. What about this one?
Changes speed.
Trying to change speed.
Like fast forward, slow.
So you can't control your speed. You're just gonna slow, fast. You figure it out. All right. What about for the gorilla?
Banana dick.
No, too easy.
Thinks everybody is favorite.
Yeah, something very feminine, I think. What do we need?
Like lipstick. Like lipstick.
Like stance.
Likes to dance. Likes to break out in the dance. And so what's wrong with this human being? What's their quirk?
He's human.
That would be easy.
He's human and he thinks that he's a furry. Because he has
How about he seems to think that he's really a real animal.
Think that he's in a fursuit.
he thinks he's a person.
In fursuit or
The emperor's in fursuit.
All right, let's call him back in. Get him in here. Does somebody have a watch? What time is it?
It is 3:32.
What?
3:32.
It's 3:32? All right.
Okay.
Do we have the person?
Okay.
Okay, so I need you all to line up on the side here, or just somewhere on the side. And one by one, I'm going to ring a doorbell, and you're going to come in, and he's going to have to figure out what you guys are. All right? So you need to get over here, and you need to start preparing for the party, because they're coming. They're coming soon. All right. So when you hear the doorbell, first visitor. Let him in. Come on, human. Other human. Come on in. Good luck with that. So you keep acting, and he's going to let the next one in. One thing to think about during performance as a side note is remember to try to keep your front towards the audience. Be wary of the back. They don't want to see your tail. So just one minor note. Well, they want to, yes,
No matter how cute it is.
All right, next one. You better start guessing some soon because I'm going to fill your room up.
party.
Do you have any guesses?
I think he's a dog.
He thinks he's a dog, thinks he's an animal. Very good. Good job. All right, well, but the next person's already at the door. Let him slow down.
He's probably a gorilla.
He's a what?
Maybe a gorilla.
Yeah. Next person.
Want it?
Hello, I've broken into your party. What is this guy?
A griffin?
What is wrong with you? Did you hear what this party was about?
Yeah.
Come on, host.
What's this thing? Really hard handshake?
No. Okay, keep doing your thing. Next one. What is this one? What's wrong with this one?
Sketchy.
He has a skin issue, yes. Very good job. All right, get out of here. Next one.
Dance.
He does. He likes to break out of the dance. Good job.
It took me a minute. I caught on.
All right, get out of here. You're not invited to the party anymore. So you still have one more left, or two more. You got one behind you. What's she doing? She doing? I don't know.
Oh, you like to look under things.
I can't keep up with your pace, whatever that slows down. We're not moving anymore.
Oh, you want food? You're hungry?
Yes, she can't find her bowl, or he or she.
Well,
Oh. Oh, okay, he can't find his bowl. Good job, congratulations. What about this one?
Back up. I can't guess this one.
What seems to be going at almost like different. Can't control. And now it's going to move quickly. It can't seem to control its own. Oh, it is. He can't control his own speed. He got it. Good job.
Yeah.
All right. Good job. All right, we're going to have one more quick round of party quirks. I'm going to need 4 more suitors. Who has not gone at all?
What's your left?
You have not gone yet. Get up there. You have not gone yet. Get up there. You are. Do you want to go up?
Yeah, sure. It's principal.
Sure. You'll go up. And you two, her, and you two. Or just go up. Just get up there. Just go. Just go. Just get up there. Go. I said go up. Get up there.
Oh, wow, this is a roof party.
Oh, no. This is a real party, guys. Who wants to try to guess all this stuff? We need a human being.
But you get 2 of them to compete.
You want a competition?
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Which 2 humans? I see these 2 back here. All right. You 2, get out of the room. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Get the newspapers.
Somebody make sure they don't listen. Guard that door. Beat them up if you have to. All right, guys. Oh boy, here we go. Are you in this? You are now. All right. So, what is this one's quirk? Really quickly.
This is in the movie Titanic.
What?
He thinks he's
He
drowning.
thinks he's in the movie Titanic.
Okay, you think you're in Titanic. You think you're drowning. Very good. Next.
Easy Rider.
What?
Easy Rider.
What? Want to be Easy Rider?
He thinks he's in the movie.
You think you're like a bike? Is that biker, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you think you're a biker. All right, next.
Rocky movie.
Wow, that was a lot.
Rocky movie.
You think you're in the Rocky movie. You're a fighter. All right, next.
Constantly reliving his death.
He constantly dies. Very good. Next.
Broken robot.
You're a broken robot. Very good. Next.
Screenwriter.
What?
Movie writer.
What?
Allergies.
You have
What's
terrible
what's
allergies.
everything?
Good luck with that.
Statue.
Tattoo addiction.
What?
Have a tattoo addiction.
What? Yeah, no.
Smelly
You're gonna have
armpits.
to leave if that comes out again.
Statue.
He's a statue. Well, that's not fun.
Say because the butterfly can constantly on his nose.
You think there's a butterfly on your nose. All right. Next.
You like speed.
You like what?
Speed.
You like speed?
Feet.
Football.
Oh, God.
Brother.
Stuck in the 70s.
What?
Stuck in the 70s.
Okay, you're a hippie stuck in the 70s. Disco, something like that. All right, next.
Thank you, cheese people.
You think that you're me. All right. Bring them on in. All right, everybody, you're split in the middle. Go on both sides, please. Stuck in the depth.
So-
All right, you're on first side. All right, where'd my bell go? All right. Where are the humans?
Right here.
Right here.
Get up here.
Be in the house.
Come on, you got to set up this party. You don't have much time to do it. All right, so one of you's going to be on one side, one of you's going to be on the other side. All right.
Here's size.
I'm going to ring this bell, and we will we'll alternate. So this side first and this side, and then we'll just keep going, okay?
Even. Somebody needs to get over here.
Somebody go over there.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to grab this bell, and go over here, and all right, first one.
Whoever, somebody come
Come in. I invited you. Nice tail. Turn around. Somebody's only rolled into your house. You're supposed to alternate people.
His ear's itching. The back of his ear's itching. He's got an itch behind his ear. Fleas or something.
What did you say he has?
He has fleas or something. Something behind his ear. A rash behind his ear.
I forget what you gave him. Is he close?
Yeah.
What was it?
I said fleas or
Okay, he's got allergies.
Allergies.
Close enough. Good job. All right, next one on the right. Somebody on the right side.
This one keeps fainting, and this one must be into boxing or fighting.
That, you got the box right. That one is not fainting.
He's choking, obviously.
Nope.
Somebody's strangling him.
Nope. Next one on the left.
He's strangling himself.
Nope.
He's what? Obviously, he's a disco dancer who's also a photographer.
He's from the 70s. Good job. All right, next one on the right, I believe.
To choke back in on the motorcycle.
Yep, that's right. Good job. Next one on the left. Next one on the right. Next one on the left.
It's definitely a robot.
He's a robot. Good job. Next one on the right. Next one on the left. Next one on the right. Everybody go!
Woo! He's got something stuck on his nose.
Yes, he does. He has a butterfly.
This one has a foot fetish. This one's imitating you.
Good job.
And this one I haven't seen long enough.
What?
I haven't seen
Okay, go ahead.
He's drowning.
There's a theme. You should pick up on it here soon.
All kinds of cool stuff. They're doing pretty good.
Trying to swim, can't swim.
He seems to be constantly what?
Sporadic.
No, he's saying, what keeps happening here? He keeps running into me. Why, it almost seems like he keeps, do another one. Do another one.
Wrong
one.
Wait, what are you? What? I can't.
That's the wrong one.
Drowning was right.
Oh, you were right. Get out of here. Where are you going? Who's the house guest? You're gonna walk out of your house guest? Get back here. I think, did you finish all yours?
Yep. Yep.
So you're done. Get out of here. Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Did you have anybody else? Is anybody left over here? So we're done?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Good job, everybody. So we did just randomly assign you quirks, but you got to practice doing some quirks. So think about those movements and think about what you might want to incorporate into your suit as a common trait that you would like to do. All right, so that's the end of that. The next thing that I want to talk about is the world around you and everything that it contains. You may want to incorporate, of course, what I'm talking about is some type of props into your act, like I was talking about before a little bit.
What's that?
The first thing to consider is around you, there are a lot of props. And like apparently my bell that somebody has stolen. So you want to think about those as you may even want to like walk around when you're out of suit and just kind of like look at the environment. You know, there are seats out there that you can jump on and roll around on. There might be funny trees or funny chairs, or just other people might bring props randomly so you can incorporate those. But you want to think about how can you interact with your environment and use it as a prop. Or when you see a prop, what you might want to do with it. Now, you can also end up bringing your own prop. As I mentioned, where'd it go?
It's hiding.
Who took my cheeseburger?
It's behind the table. Hold on.
Is that a table? Oh, we'll find it. So one of my big things. She got my cheeseburger. I wish it didn't match the floor, because then I could see it better. All right. One of the big things that I incorporate into my act is I always try to bring in some type of prop that I can use. It's also very helpful because sometimes you can end up using this prop as a way to interact with the other people or other fursuiters. Because if somebody's just standing there and they're doing their own thing, or they're talking, or they're messing around, I might not want to just go into there, But if I have something to offer, like this cheeseburger, I can end up walking up to anybody and starting a conversation or starting some play. I also tend to just throw it at people because it's not a very solid object and I haven't injured them too badly. And now I can start interacting with them. Where'd it go?
Right there.
Oh, I can't. Give me my cheeseburger. So, and then, you can think about even qualities and characteristics for your props. For some reason yesterday, this cheeseburger started killing people.
Somebody spiked it.
And I don't know why. It just started happening, and I've been having to hold it back from killing people. So it's been randomly. Look, it's got like a little tooth on there. So I don't know. I need to put like a little mustache and some eyes on this maybe, and maybe create a character for my prop. So think about. And I'm saving all your lives right now because this cheeseburger is not killing anybody. So you're welcome. So think about incorporating props into your, it's an act. You're doing an act out there. You're having fun, but you're performing. So think about what you might want to bring with you to help you perform. Now, we're going to do another activity here. I've brought a number of props that are on this table, and I want us to practice using some of these props because the prop may need to, you may need to think of other uses for that prop when you get it. So if anybody's familiar with any type of improv, there's something called props. So I'm going to ask for, let's see. I'm gonna need 4 volunteers on each side, so I'm gonna need 8. Is there anybody in fursuit that has not been up here yet? Or did we get it?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna be one of them, but everybody's been in at least once, right? All right. Was there anybody that was in that first initial stuff that wants to now come up? That hasn't? Anybody that hasn't did party quirks, please exclude yourself for now. But so you want to go up again? You need it. I think. Are you in quirks? Okay. Was there anybody else? Well, anyway, who wants it? We need. Let's see. Okay, you're again. Okay, so 2. All right. So who wants to come up? I need. Let's see. There's 3. I need 5 more. What? Okay, you 2. Griffin, you come up again, and Gorilla. What does that give us?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, you come up again. That's 7.
7. Sorry.
And one of you 3 back there. Fight. That gives us 8. All right. Split. Split. All right, guys. So you 4, you got 4 on each side, right?
No, I
All right. I can't see. Somebody say yes.
Yes.
All right. So you're a team. You're a team. And I'm going to give you each a prop. Have fun with that. And have fun with that. Okay, now you have to both move in a little bit. So just kind of stay with your teams, but you're both going to be center stage here. So come on. So just don't stand in the middle, but come on either side. And just please make sure to not be showing your audience your tail. Try to at least, interact, be on, you're working as a team on this, but, just, we don't want to see this all day. Maybe you do. Maybe mine. All right. Where's my bell? All right, you've got the bell. So what's going to happen here is you're going to alternate. You can either do it as a team or you can hand it off, however you want to do it, okay? But you're going to hear the bell, you're going to do something, then you're going to do something, you're going to do something, you're going to do something, we're going to do that until we get tired of it.
Can we talk for it or no?
You can talk if you want, yes.
Okay, sorry.
Because I never shut up.
I didn't know.
So, all right, you've got the bell.
Okay.
Okay, left side goes first.
Okay, go.
Good. All right, next one.
No.
Yep. All right, good job. Next one.
Gentlemen, I have put Paul Rubin's soul in a beagle.
Oh, sorry. I love that thing. All right, good job. Next one. Uh-oh, it's good. Stop it. Do something.
Okay, go.
Guilt. What are you doing? Are you using it to sweep the floor?
No, I'm scratching it with it. It's
Sword.
Oh, okay.
Wall.
Go. All right. Next one. What is happening? Are you tickling it with it? Okay. Next one. What are you doing? These are difficult props though because they do look like something. So. All right. Just next. All right. We'll do one more round each. Is that? Oh God. The sushi went bad. Oh my God. All right. Last
That
everyone
sushi ain't
here.
completely sushi.
All I see is your butt.
Now get back here, mister. It has been your bedtime for hours.
All right, good job. Next, last one. There we go. Oh, narwhal, be careful. All right, good job, guys. Good job, guys.
You will be dead, but you're not old man.
What's the time?
Very limited.
3:51. Yeah, mine is about it's pushing 3:55.
So just, these were kind of difficult props. They do look like things. They don't always have to look like something. But just think about what you want to have and incorporate into it, because it's a lot of fun to play with. All right, so we're gonna get, we got 10 more minutes. I want to talk to you, one thing quickly is about the fursuit parade. There will be a fursuit parade tomorrow, and many of you will probably be in that event. The fursuit parade is difficult though, because especially now we've got, what, over 1,000 fursuits?
Last year was 5,001.
So there's a lot of, even digital cameras, we're starting to fill up people's memory cards. So they have to make a decision if they're going to take a picture of you or not. And so there's going to be a lot of these pictures that come up. So this is actually an opportunity for you to perform, but a difficult one, because you can only, you only have really like a second or two to interact with people as you're walking. So now think about this though too, you're not just walking around. If they just see you walking, and you're just walking, and towards the end, this is what I'm doing. But at that point, they may not take a picture of you because there were other dogs in that line that they've already taken pictures. There were already other griffins. There were already other bunnies and whatnot. So they're saving the space on their memory card at this point, and they might not take that picture. So what you want to think about is, while you're walking, what can you do as a performer that will attract them to take a picture of you? And this is difficult, but you're going to be walking the entire distance. Now, when you see people, you can just think of something that you want to do, or maybe one or two things that you want to do. Maybe you have a prop to assist you, or maybe you have a pose or something that you want to do, or maybe you want to bark at them. But think of something that you want to do, and you're going to do it over and over again, because every time you walk by somebody, it's like a new Christmas present. They haven't seen you before, so it's shiny and new to them. So that's just something I do to keep it simple. I've done things like, as I've been walking, I'll walk, I think we're side by side mostly now, but I may try to interact with the suit next to me, or like maybe grab their tail. I may wave at them with my tail. I often have my cheeseburger and just now yell at people. So, but I'm playing with, usually what I'm doing right now is I hold my cheeseburger, and I hold it, and I pretend to eat it, and I hold it, and I pretend to eat it, and I'm waving at them, but I'm doing it over and over and over again. And that way I'm not holding up the line. I can do that without holding up the people behind me. So think, and when you wave at people, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, but just remember, they're videotaping you, but any pictures that you see, you can still be walking, but just try to keep your upper, if you see a picture, just, you usually have enough time for like a half step to just pause. And even like if you're walking, you can just pause for a second what you're doing to give them that opportunity to take a picture of you. So when you're in fursuit games, think about what type of characteristic you want to portray, and you're going to do it over and over again to try and get people to take that picture of you. Does that make sense? Any questions?
What is this? Oh, I think it's 317, 318.
Yes, and also try to be cognizant of the people behind, like before you stop for that half a second, you make sure you have a little bit of space behind you. It's just,
in the convention center.
I heard a question over here.
Handlers allowed.
Yeah, what?
Handlers allowed in the parade.
Handlers are not allowed in the parade, so I don't think unless you have medical
I think
reasons.
if it's like absolutely 100% necessary, like you will immediately fall and die. if you're
Yeah,
family.
unless there's like a real medical reason.
Or, yeah.
Generally, it's just going to be you on your own. So keep that in mind. You may need to learn who's next to you and say, hey, do you want to kind of like growl at each other or something, and just as we're going around, interact with that person as you're walking with them. Or do you want to growl at everybody, you know, like, don't take a picture of me, don't take a picture. Or you want to squeak at them or something like that. So just think of that, because if you're just walking, that you know, they might not take that picture of you. Any other questions? All right, I have one final topic, and then we're all going to get out of here. And that's pictures itself, okay? So when people are taking pictures of you, one of the rookie mistakes that I learned when I started this whole thing is, you know, I'd be running around, I'd be fooling around, and then people would, you know, would say, hey, can I get a picture? Oh yeah, sure. And then, hey, did you get it? Did you get that blurry picture? So you really, you know, one of the key things is when people ask you for a picture, you have to stay still for a minute. Some of us, it's more difficult for others to do that. For me, that was really tough. Like, I should stop moving. And you can take a picture. And think about it too, is if you're with a group of people, be careful of your hands. Because your hands, come here. You know, if we're taking a picture and I start doing this, you might end up blocking their shot and they're not going to see you. So just be cognizant of who's around you and, you know, where your hands are. Try to kind of keep them lower if possible so that they have an opportunity to be in the picture too.
Are there any recommended poses for pictures?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. It might be a part of your character. Maybe your character is always like a sitting puppy type. Or maybe you just like to always have people. I don't personally come up with a specific pose, but maybe that's something you want to do as a part of your character. I mean, just, you know, think about what you're doing, maybe play with the prop. Usually, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have somebody, you know, hey, can we get a picture of you too?
Yeah, and it's mostly like this.
Put your arms
like
up a little bit, and
this,
you get a nice little
you know.
picture, bend the knees. Give them a nice little picture to take. All right, so we need to practice that. So as the final thing that we're doing here today, I need all the human beings with cameras to stand back there, and I need all the fursuiters to stand up here, and we're going to get a group shot. All right. And we're going to practice taking a picture, and then it's going to be all over. Every fursuiter.
Yeah, like. Thank you so much.
All right, so I'll be anybody that's short will be seen. Just we have everybody scrunched together because they're probably going to. Come on, get close. We're all fuzzy, right? Except the waller. All right, everybody stand still once you got your pose, and people take pictures.
All right.
Human beings, let us know when you're done.
Quickly, everyone sneak out.
See furries.
All right, everybody do a silly shot. Everybody
Oh,
just do something random. It doesn't matter now.
No, it was your fault.
Get your pictures. Thank you, everybody, for attending the Fursuit Character Building and Performance Panel. Thank you very much. Get out! Get out of here! Thank you. Anybody that can help me put some of the chairs back, too? Everybody, no, get you first. Thank you.
I was just interested in plants.
Told Brian to call back.
I'm going to put my hand a little bit better on it. Try to change it up. Buddy, thank you so much.